Hello and welcome to Chocolate and Cheese. My name is Dom, and you would usually hear the voice of my lovely co-host, Lou, but she's on holiday for the next 2 weeks, the bastard, so I will just have to do it myself for the next 2 weeks, so I hope you're going to be okay with that. I will be talking about interesting body facts that you might not know, okay? So there's loads of facts about your very own body that you might find surprising. And let's kick off straight away. Number one, the average person produces enough saliva in a lifetime to fill 2 swimming pools. Now, apart from this just being totally gross, I'm actually quite surprised by that. I mean, I knew it was going to be quite a lot, but 2 swimming pools? That leaves me rather gobsmacked. So that's a lot. Number 2, the normal body, the average body, has enough iron to make a metal nail that's 3 inches long. I actually heard that before. Again, it's really interesting actually, and why it's also so important to make sure that your diet contains iron, because well, apparently that's really, really useful to be in your body, not for making nails, but I suppose for other biochemical purposes. Number 3, another gross one. Apparently we all have mites. Not mice, but mites, M-I-T-E-S, living in our eyelashes. Okay, I knew that the body inside and outside was covered by billions and billions of bacteria. Actually, I think the number of bacteria in a body is I think even more than there are people in the world. But anyway, mites in my eyelashes. That's kind of gross. I knew about dust, I knew about mites in the mattress of your bed, but actually mites on my eyelashes, I find that rather gross. I'm gonna have a proper face wash later on to just reduce the numbers, I suppose. Number 4. I knew that, just to show off a little bit. But sweat, when you're sweating, the sweat itself is actually odorless, okay? So you're not using deodorants just for the sweat itself. It's actually the bacteria on the skin that produce that body odor. And it's not actually bacteria themselves, it's actually the excretion. So it's actually, what comes out of them that actually is so smelly. And a quick tip for you, if you don't actually have any deodorant with you, you can also just use normal pure alcohol really, and if you just put that on your skin, maybe on your underarms, that will kill the bacteria, and the smell is gone. Although the sweat is still there, but the smell will be gone because you will kill the bacteria. Number 5, the explanation for why older people have very large noses and sometimes really, really big ears. I remember my grandfather, he had massive ears, and I always thought, why that is? I thought, well, maybe it is something to do with gravity, maybe, things pulling down their ears or pulling down the nose, but apparently it's because they never stop growing. So your entire life, your ears and nose will be growing, so that by the end of your life you will have a massive nose and very long ears. So that's something to look forward to. Number 6, very interesting. For all those people who like to commit crimes maybe and want to make sure they don't actually leave any prints behind, any kind of traces. Now, similar to fingerprints, the tongue also has a unique print that is identifiable. So whenever you commit a crime, don't lick your crime scene. Even if you wear gloves, make sure you keep your mouth shut, because you don't obviously want to get in trouble. Number 7, when you're awake, the human brain produces enough electricity to power a small light bulb. Okay, well, we all knew that the neurons communicate, with electricity, so the whole body is, full of electricity. And apparently, again, human brain making enough just to actually power a small light bulb. I think that's kind of cute also to think about that, actually, of how much it is. Number 8, which I find very interesting, we spend about 10% of our waking hours with our eyes closed. 10%, okay? And that's because we're blinking, okay? That's interesting. I thought it was because maybe I'm daydreaming or something. No, it's actually just to do with the blinking. Number 9. Every day, the heart creates enough energy to drive a truck for 20 miles. So that's about 32 kilometers. That's a lot. I mean, that's really, showing you of how busy, and how much the heart actually is doing. The kind of work it produces every day to actually power a truck like this. I mean, this is pretty incredible. Number 10, the final fact, very interesting. I'm sure that most people probably get this wrong, and maybe because you're being taught this in school or because we see it on television all the time. We usually assume that the side that the heart is on is actually on the left, but that's not true, and it's also not on the right. It's actually in the middle. Okay, that's quite interesting. Have a look in anatomic books, study some anatomy, or watch anything on Google. Check out some pictures, and you will see that the heart is actually in the middle of the body. In the chest area, obviously. Otherwise, it would be somewhere in the groin area. Anyway, so these were your 10 I wouldn't call them unusual facts, but they're just 10 facts which are very interesting and maybe quite surprising to many of us. There were definitely a couple of things that I didn't know. Especially the one that I found most fascinating here was actually that the ears and nose are never really stop. They never really stop growing, which explains why older people just have these long ears and very big noses. So very interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. Please feel free to subscribe. We always love it when we have new subscribers. And don't forget, we can be found on YouTube. We are on iTunes. We are on TuneIn and on Stitcher as well. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time.